Have you ever met a stranger who changed your life forever? Not in the movies, not in a fairy tale, but in real life. One moment you're minding your business, and the next you're standing face to face with someone who will shape your destiny. This is the story of Emma, a dream-chasing photographer, and James, a work-obsessed lawyer. Two people from different worlds who met by chance, only to discover that some strangers aren't strangers at all. They're soulmates. It was a rainy Tuesday evening in New York City. Emma had just come back from a photo assignment and missed her train. She slipped into a crowded coffee shop, dripping wet, clutching her cama bag. James was already there, sitting near the window, his eyes glued to his laptop, papers spread out, phone buzzing with constant calls. He barely noticed the storm outside, or the life passing him by. But fate works quietly. The barista mistakenly placed Emma's caramel latte on James's table. When Emma walked over, she smiled nervously and said, "I think that's mine, unless you've developed a sweet tooth for a caramel drizzle." James looked up startled. Their eyes locked, his tired and sharp, hers bright and curious. For the first time in months, he chuckled. "You caught me. I'm more of an espresso guy." That was it. A simple mistake, yet neither of them would ever forget it. The rain poured harder, trapping them both inside. Emma, instead of retreating, sat down across from James, her adventurous spirit unbothered by the formality of strangers. One question turned into another. She told him about her love for photography, how she traveled city to city, capturing fleeting moments most people missed. James admitted he hadn't taken a vacation in 3 years, living only for deadlines. "You sound like a man who's forgotten how to live," Emma teased. "And you," James countered, "sound like a woman running from something." Her smile faded just for a second. He wasn't wrong. By the time the rain stopped, Emma was scribbling her number on his napkin. "If you ever decide life is bigger than a courtroom, call me." James wasn't supposed to call, but 3 days later, he did. Coffee turned into lunch, lunch into late-night walks. Soon they were exploring the city together. Emma dragged him to street fairs, rooftop sunsets, and jazz bars. James showed her libraries, art exhibits, and his secret love for old novels. It wasn't instant love. It was better, slow, steady, growing with every laugh and late-night conversation. Emma taught him how to see beauty. James showed her what it felt like to be truly grounded. But with love comes fear, and both of them had plenty. One evening, after sneaking into a rooftop Emma swore had the best city view, they sat side by side, the skyline glowing around them. "I think you're afraid of being ordinary," James said softly. "And you," Emma replied, "are afraid of being extraordinary." He smiled, leaned closer, and before either could talk themselves out of it, they kissed. It wasn't dramatic. It was simple, sweet, the kind of kiss that feels like home. For the first time in years, James wasn't thinking about tomorrow. He was lost in the moment. With her. Months passed. They were inseparable, but then Emma received an email. Her dream photography assignment, a 1-year project across Europe. It was everything she had ever wanted, but it also meant leaving James. When she told him, he froze. "So what? You're just going to leave?" "I'm not leaving you, James. I'm chasing something I've worked for my whole life. Can't you understand that?" But James couldn't. All his life, people left. His father when he was a child, his mother emotionally distant, friends too busy. He couldn't bear to lose Emma too. They argued. Words they couldn't take back were said. And just like that, the strangers who would become everything became strangers again. Emma left. Europe was beautiful, thrilling, and everything she dreamed of. But in quiet moments, when she looked through her camera lens, she saw James's face in every frame. Back in New York, James drowned himself in work, convincing himself he was fine. But one night, walking past the same coffee shop where it all began, he froze. There, hanging on the wall, was one of Emma's photographs. It was of him, taken months ago, sipping his coffee, completely unaware. Beneath it, she had written, "Sometimes the most beautiful souls are found in the quietest moments." James's chest tightened. He realized Emma hadn't left him. She carried him with her. And suddenly, his biggest fear wasn't losing her. It was never fighting to get her back. 2 weeks later, James was in Paris. He didn't plan, didn't overthink. He just went. He found Emma at a gallery, surrounded by strangers admiring her work. She turned, shocked, as he walked in. His voice shook, but his eyes held steady. "You showed me the world through your eyes, Emma. Now let me show you what it looks like with you in mine." The gallery was silent. Emma's tears spilled. And just like that, they were no longer strangers. They were soulmates reunited. Their love didn't stay perfect. It grew through challenges. They argued, they disagreed, but they always came back to that coffee shop moment. James learned to slow down. Emma learned that sometimes stability isn't the cage, but a foundation. Years later at their wedding, Emma leaned in and whispered, "Remember the coffee?" James smiled. "Best mistake of my life." They built a life full of love, compromise, laughter, and lessons.